remains a 40-pound vest. I can only imagine if it was 100 pounds, but it makes me want to do some movements and training. This is remains a 40-pound vest. I can only imagine if it was 100 pounds, but it makes me want to do some movements and training.
What's up, fight fans? This is Kurt DeVille with Counterpunch Boxing News, and I have some new news concerning Dillian, the body snatcher, Whyte. Dillian Whyte has this to say. He says, I fully expect Fury to run like a coward the way Wilder did before him. Wow. Dillian Whyte does not expect to get a mandatory crack at the WBC heavyweight champion Tyson Fury. Whyte stakes his mandatory position against former WBA champion Alexander Povetkin on Saturday night at Matchroom's fight camp in Brentwood. Should Whyte win, he will fall directly in line for the winner of the Fury versus Deontay Wilder trilogy fight, which is targeted at the moment for December 19th. If Wilder 3 takes place in December, which appears unlikely at the moment, there is now way the winner can turn around and fight again in February. There is no way, okay, gotcha, typo, that they can turn around and fight in February, and an agreement would have to be worked out for a late date in March or even April. But Fury and his handlers have expressed very little interest in facing Whyte in 2021. They are far more interested in full division unification fight with WBA, IBO, WBO, and all the other O's, Anthony Joshua. Do you think Tyson Fury cares? He says, Tyson Fury don't care. He used to say he was the lineal champ. He let the public think he is, but he does what he wants to do. Tyson Fury doesn't care. He's a man that says one thing today and then says something else tomorrow. He doesn't give two hoots what the public thinks, Whyte said to Sky Sports. He said that he's a fighting man. Before he won the belt, he said that he was going to fight me. He just talks rubbish. He said that he was going to do this to me, do that to me. When I beat Deontay Wilder, I'm going to give Dillian the first shot at the belt because he deserves it. He's waited so long and he's worked so hard after the wins, the fights. He talked about fighting Derek Chisora. He's a joker. The WBC have obviously come forward and said, you have to fight me now, so let's see what he's going to do. He's tried everything to avoid me, even without waiting for the outcome of my fight with Povetkin. He's so scared about the prospect of fighting me that his promoter begged the WBC to elevate him to franchise champion out of my clutches. Mauricio has said publicly that that ain't happening. All going well, he'll be all mine, but I fully expect him to run and run and run just like the coward Deontay Wilder was before him. Wow. Look. It does look like history is repeating itself. It's no sense of having the WBC belt and not defend it the way it's supposed to be defended, okay? Just because you have a belt and you're the king don't mean that you can do what you want to do. He hasn't broken any records. He hasn't, you know what I mean? He hasn't been regarded as the cash cow or anything like that. I don't care what Forbes says. He's not that guy. If he was that guy, Mauricio Sulaiman would have elevated him to be that guy, like they did Canelo. Why? Because Canelo is the guy that broke records with his contract signing, okay? Lomachenko is just a very highly skilled technical fighter that's already made history before his ass even came to the professional rankings, okay? So there's reasons I see them doing that, you know. I don't personally like the franchise champion situation, but Mauricio said that he wouldn't do that, so we have to wait and see. Dillian Whyte's also right about Tyson Fury. He does say one thing one day and another thing another day. You know, that's Tyson Fury. We know Tyson Fury. He's bipolar minded. He thinks one way one day, because he did say Dillian Whyte he's gained this opportunity. He's fought so hard. I'm going to give him a shot. Then he talked about fighting Chisora. So Tyson Fury's all over the place, as we know. But for him running like a coward, I'm not sure about. However, I will say this. What Dillian Whyte said made perfect sense. He doesn't even know the outcome of the Povetkin fight, and he's already saying, or his handlers are already saying, they don't want to fight him next. You know what I'm saying? That's bad. That looks very bad, because you don't even know what the outcome of his next fight. He still has to fight Povetkin first this weekend. So why, as of last week, you guys are already saying what you ain't going to do and forget Dillian Whyte, we're going to fight Joshua just because you guys have agreed? What's the problem? Where's your confidence? Don't you think you'll beat Wilder the third time? Right? Now we're trying to, oh, well, we don't want to do that. We want to push that fight and push that fight. Well, you know, so I don't really know what's going on over there with Tyson Fury, but I know Dillian Whyte stuck it in and broke it off, because when he put Wilder out there and said, hey, you're a coward and you ran like Wilder did, again, I think people need to target the sanctioning body, Mauricio, for that, because he made those things possible for Wilder to move the goalpost like he did those times. Okay? And I think nothing's different. I feel that Mauricio is the one to point the finger. So we have to see what Mauricio does again at the end of the day. But it does come off strange that all of a sudden you don't want to fight Whyte when it's coming closer and closer to the time to fight Whyte. People, it's almost September. Okay? September to February is what, 5 months? It's less than 6 months away that something has to be done about Dillian Whyte. Dillian Whyte's a problem for everyone. So you have to give that man his just due. Just give him a fight. If you beat him, cool, you're going to get full credit. Then you join Anthony Joshua with the person that beat him, if you can. And I don't see why it's not, and I don't see why people dance all around Dillian Whyte as though he's just this big threat. He's a threat, but Jesus, fight the guy. He's one of the top heavyweights. Why are we worried about fighting other people and Tyson Fury wanting another fight and don't want to fight Whyte and Whyte ain't right and I have to fight Wilder later on, and you know it's crazy. It's absolute madness, right? And you know, Dillian Whyte has a point. Dillian Whyte has a right to talk shit. Dillian Whyte, because Dillian Whyte's that kind of guy that sees and he's looking through the bullshit with these people, these fighters, that they don't want to fight them. And I think one thing about Joshua that I know that Dillian Whyte can respect, at least someone got in the ring with this freaking guy. And then that was the guy that was undefeated. And this guy has one loss and no one wants to risk that. You know, Tyson Fury, you're no good, you're no better than a champion if you don't want to give Whyte his just due. So you can go fight someone else and pull some Otto Wallin shit? Because that Otto Wallin fight could have been stopped, people. Just because you think you can pick and choose a fighter don't mean that's cut and dry that you're going to win and walk out that fight the victor. So a lot of people have got to be very, very careful on what they do with certain fighters and how they pick and choose. Do the right thing and see how good you are. That's my counterpunch on it. But is Tyson Fury running scared like Deontay Wilder claims Deontay once was, like a coward? We shall soon see. You guys tell me what you think about this article. Of course, please subscribe. And you guys been Counterpunch. Peace.